All right, so the syntax of CSS is actually very simple, even if it looks a little bit weird, especially compared to HTML, and that is part of the fun of learning HTML, CSS, and JavaScript is all three languages are completely different from one another, but there is a relationship between them. And in this case, the relationship is we're creating rules here to select things that are in our HTML and then style them. So this rule that I have right here is selecting my body. So this first thing I put there is called the selector. That's my body. And then this is the property that I'm choosing. So I'm choosing my background color property, and then I'm setting a value there. So CSS is all about that, selecting something and then property value pairs. And just for a very quick example of some of the other things we can do here, I'm just going to shrink this down so we can see our page at the same time. And I'm going to delete this, and we're going to hit save on that so we go back to having a white background on our page. And I'm going to select something else. So if I come and take a look in my HTML over here, let's say I want to select the title of my page. Well, if I look at the title there, that's my H1 element. So to select the H1 element, we want to go back over to the style sheet, and then I would do the H1. Now, what's really important when you're selecting something in HTML is you're not going to be putting the triangle brackets. We don't use those anywhere in CSS. So when I look here, I ignore the brackets that are on there, and I'm just taking this thing that's right in the middle. So if I want my H1, I take my H1. Then after your selector, you put your curly braces, and VS Code's automatically going to put the opening and the closing one for us. So opening curly brace, closing curly brace. And then in here, we write all the different things that we want to change. And each one of those things is called a declaration as well. I could start writing it right here, but the best practice is always to go onto a new line. So I'm going to push return. It's using the indentation, similar to how we saw it in our HTML. And this time, instead of a background color, I can say color. And this will change the color of the text. So let's say I say color red, and I save that, and then I refresh over here, and the color of it is changed. Or I could come in and say font size, and I could say, I don't know, 50 pixels to make it really big, and save that, and hit refresh, and it changes over here. And I'll do one more before I talk a bit more about it. Let's do a text align, and I'm going to write center for this one, and refresh, and then that's going to center that way. So a few things you might have noticed here is when I'm writing these property value pairs, I'm doing the property, then after the name of the property, I'm putting a colon right there. Then I put the value I want, and then after the value, I'm putting a semicolon. If I do not put semicolons, this would be the same thing as in HTML as if I didn't put my closing tags for something. So it would just think that everything is part of my H1, and it could cause some problems. So for example, if I don't have those semicolons at the end and I refresh here, you can see all the styles are gone, because as far as the browser is concerned, that's the same as writing this. And so it's saying color, red, font size 50, it just becomes a mess, and it doesn't know what that is. So just like in HTML, where creating new lines is just for us, and we can add spaces and do different things, that's only visual for us. For the browser, we need to have all of the correct things. So color red, so this is my property, my value. So I have a color declaration that's saying that my color will now be red, and then I end that declaration here with the semicolon, and then the semicolon here, and a semicolon there. And it does take a little bit of getting used to, especially if you don't use a lot of semicolons, but very quickly you're going to get used to writing the property values and always having your semicolons there. And just it becomes very easy to also know sometimes if you forget one, which can definitely happen, that when you see that, oh, my text align center and my font size aren't working, the first thing to go look for is see if there's a typo, because if you misspell a property, VS Code's actually pretty good. It will often highlight when there's a typo or something, because it says it's an unknown property right there. So that's one thing to look out for, is just if you have typos. But the other thing is if you do have missing semicolons or missing colons in the middle as well. These different things are very important, and you want to keep an eye out for them as you're working. But as you can see, VS Code helps us see these things by pointing out some of the mistakes that we might make along the way. And another thing that's really important when we're writing our CSS, just like with our HTML, is this indentation that I talked about. Sometimes people get lazy and they write their CSS like this, where they do it all together. And at the beginning, when you're just doing like one declaration, it doesn't really seem like the end of the world, because you have your H1 color red, you have the red box that VS Code's adding there to make life easier. The problem with this is that it just becomes like, you can see like the more you write, the more awkward this becomes. And even if you have word wrap on, like this is a big mess with word wrap on even. And right now we only have 3 declarations on there. You might end up with 4, 5, 6, 10, 15 declarations on some things at times. And so properly organizing them is really important. It's going to make your life a lot easier in the long run. And it's not hard to do. It just means that every time we write something, we do our selector. So let's come in with a different selector this time. I'm going to do P for my paragraphs. I do my opening and closing curly braces, and I hit return. So I go on to a new line or enter. Now I write the property I want. So we're going to do color again. After I do my color, I do my colon. Let's say we do orange this time, semicolon at the end. And after my semicolon, I always push enter or return to go on to a new line. And now I hit save on there. I can refresh over here and I see that all of my paragraphs have changed over to orange, which I definitely don't want to leave it that way. It does not look very nice, but at least I can see that it's actually working. Another thing that I see sometimes people doing is they leave, for some reason, this ends up being over here. It just makes it a lot easier to see when you have your opening curly brace, your closing curly brace, and then all the different properties in one group. And then you could come down, put an extra space there, and then maybe I choose my H2 and I say color is red. And we're creating a table color scheme right now, but that's okay. I get my H2s both switching over to the color red. And then I can go and select the next thing and change other properties and values on the next thing.